So first,
Absolutely.
and I was
Let's dig it all up.
oh, no.
True.
You'll never guess.
So sidebar. Yes.
And also, I feel like I shouldn't have to remember everything.
I know.
Actually, I have to talk about this.
3, 2, 1.
Hi, everyone.
Hey.
I'm Alicia.
And I'm Meredith.
And this is Also Podcast Summer House Edition, Season 9, Episode 6. We have another incomplete weekend that we're dragging out this summer.
Another stupid little cliffhanger and a conversation we didn't get.
That we could have gotten because what the fuck was this episode about? Great. Well, before we get into the actual episode that really wasn't that important, check us out on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Patreon. All the links are in our description. Please be sure to rate, review, subscribe. I would read your reviews if you left them. Good, bad, ugly, anything.
Honestly,
I'll read them.
it's been like 8 months since we got one. So, please?
Either people are neutral on us
Oh, no.
or they're not listening. Both of which suck. At least have an opinion.
Yeah, wait. We literally had the best review, which was like mean to us about being mean to men.
Funny. And it was
More
2
of that.
stars, so it wasn't even 1.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. But yeah, all the links are in our description, so get involved with us. Also, just so everyone's aware, I post every week in the Patreon for our $5 a month patrons and ask for their opinions. And we do have some opinions from last week to get at the top of the show. In case you're wondering why Meredith's a little salty if you're watching this video on Patreon, because we also
I'm no
offer
longer
video.
salty. I'm no longer salty
Well-
because I feel justified. They don't even like you either.
No, but I have some.
I
Meredith
know.
for 3 weeks automated the posts and no one commented. But I've gotten 4 comments this season already on my own.
Okay, that first post doesn't count.
Well,
But out of 2 posts that you've posted after I removed our automation, you've gotten 2 comments. So you're 2 for 2.
I mean, I'm not a big mathematician, but you have 0. So
I know. That's what I'm saying. Ridiculous, people.
All right. So
But
from last
read 'em.
episode, Megan D said, Paige reading Kyle was epic. Lindsay's gender reveal was cute. Danielle was only gone for a week. I don't know why she acts like it's midway. Technically 2 weeks because they skipped a whole ass week.
Okay,
Did
but,
y'all know
like-
that? I'm still mad.
But
Lexi and
still,
Jesse
like-
are...
It's not like it's been ages since we've seen Danielle.
Yeah, but she's a guest. Just leave Danielle fucking alone. She sucks as it is. Why do we need to give her more sucky things? Lexi and Jesse are, and then cringe face. Wes not having 25,000 is hilarious. I don't know why, but the delivery was good. That's because Wes is funny, and he probably does have 25K. Well, he was unemployed most of last summer, so maybe he doesn't.
And we have
But
to remember,
he was just trying to get Sierra to watch or to
their
laugh.
pay is linked to what Carl Lindsay made their season 1. So, I mean, with inflation,
they're not inflating. There's no inflation.
They really haven't grown that first year salary.
To continue, Megan says Sierra is a babe. Paige made up too fast with Kyle, in my opinion. And Emerald has game. Yeah, Emerald's getting laid all the time. Overall, a good episode. I posted this after y'all posted the recap. Oh, that's okay. But she was taking her praxis exam, which is a teaching exam. Congrats, Megan. I hope you did well on your exam.
Yeah, and I hope we can keep you busy while you were studying. So
you just zone out on studying and listen to this.
Yeah.
Oh, don't worry about being a teacher. You could just be a podcaster. It's fine.
We're the perfect break. You need a break and to
True.
giggle and to
Truly.
cry over our stupidity. We're here.
Okay, Tonette said, she tried leaving thoughts, but they got deleted and she doesn't know why. Haha, so I have another comment that would have been commented. Thank you, Tonette. Anyway, Tonette said, I'm up and down with Paige. I think she's overrated, but I still love and root for her. No one should be held to such high regard except Jesus Christ. That was funny. I don't know why that was funny. I didn't expect it. It got me. Yeah, I do think Paige is seen as kind of like a a quote god in a sense on this show.
Yeah.
I think she's just like she either has her cult following, like you either love her or you hate her, you know? And the
But I
people that
agree
love her.
I agree with Tonette, though, that she's getting a lot of, like, heat for stuff she shouldn't. Like, there is the not cult following is also attacking her for crazy reasons, where it's like, all right, you don't have to love her, but, like, that's wild. Like, there are a lot of Southern Charm people, I think, who came over to Summer House and are, I'm just going to say it, misogynistic and, like, hate her just because she broke up with Craig. And it's like, all right, what is going on here?
Someone put a video out this week that was like, oh, I find it interesting that now that the public opinion on Paige has changed, all these people who are really misogynistic towards Paige are like trying to get on her good side. And I was like, when was it bad?
I don't know, because we've always been like fans of hers. It was Josh, the like side. NYC stan or whatever, like the Roni guy. He said that. I was like, man, I guess I never saw those videos.
I was on the good side of TikTok, I guess.
I've always been a fan of hers.
Same. And then Tonette said, also, I feel like show is missing the juiciness that we used to have seasons ago. Everyone knows the glow up, and I feel like they're holding back. Not so much Jesse and Lindsay and Carl and Kyle, but definitely everyone else. It's like they're just there to be there, not giving anything. Yeah, I think a lot of people aren't, like you said, giving us much on the show. I don't know.
Well, I think we know
talk about this all the time.
To give the right amount, or like what they deem the right amount, where they can still have like a quote unquote storyline, but they're not just like living their life and putting it all out there anymore. They're like a little bit more manufactured, or they just don't really want to be there. Paige and Sierra said that at one point, like, I just don't want to be here. And it's like, shut up. This is your job. I don't want to be at my job either, but I show up.
I show up and I have to put a fucking smile on my face and I have to participate in everything. So here I am.
The smile I don't have to because I'm not on camera. But these people, come on, get up, go out to the bar. Let's go.
Yeah, so I don't know. I feel like they figured out how to do the minimum, like enough to get rehired. And I think the thing that really keeps them coming, like keeps them being invited back, is their social following. Like the cult, like they're not going to get rid of Paige anytime soon because of her cult following.
That, like, you can tell where there's like a different switch because they bring other things to the table maybe. Yeah. But I mean, at the end of the day, we all just want to watch a good TV show.
Exactly. Okay. Well, previously on Summer House, Jesse was talking boobs with the house and Lexi was not happy because she's a jealous person. Giggly Squad is going on tour and Craig feels like he's in a submissive relationship when his relationship should be a priority. Carl hasn't had sex in a year since Lindsay. Kyle rage texted about Craig to Paige, which caused drama between Paige and Kyle. Kyle thinks Craig's a liar, and now Craig and Kyle need to talk.
Wait, these men are so down bad. This is so funny.
I hate when Craig comes because Craig, Kyle, and Carl, those three names are all the hard, I hate it. Okay.
Yeah, that's a lot.
So we open up NYC Friday, July 26, 1:09 p.m. Jesse picks up Wes, and then they get Emerald and Carl. And then Craig, yeah, God, I don't know these names. Craig and Paige pick up Gabby. And Craig's like, hey, Gabby, I got you drinks and snacks. And Paige is like, I got the drinks.
I mean, that is so Craig.
Hey, I got these for you.
I got this for you. I'm a gentleman.
A liar, if you will. No, I'm just kidding. I don't care.
Hey, he definitely is not a truther. We only deal with truthers in this household.
Add it to the montage of Craig lying. So it was Amanda's birthday on Wednesday. We're going to do a surprise party for her. But we got to update Gabby on what she missed because she wasn't here last weekend. So Kyle yelled at Paige about Craig. And then Kyle went on Watch What Happens Live and said that Craig's a liar, which Craig says he's actually not a liar. I was like, oh my, I'll add it to the lies.
I'm sorry, but if anybody is so adamant that they are not a liar and have never lied, I'm like, you're lying right now. Everybody on this earth lies.
I feel like if someone called me a liar, if someone was like, you're a liar to me, I'd be like, probably.
Yes. And
probably. Yeah.
Like, and the day that ends in Y, I lie. Come on.
So Craig says that like his deal with Spritz shouldn't affect Kyle at all. Like even the Jenner sisters have competing alcohol contracts. And I was like,
wait,
what? Where's Kylie at? Does she do alcohol?
she has like a seltzer now.
Okay, but like Kendall does tequila.
Yeah, it's not in like direct competition with each other, but actually I was like, wait a minute, that's a good point. Like so many people have competing brands or competing things. Like Kylie had makeup and Kim had makeup. Why can't people just be in whatever space they want to be in? Like it's not that big of a deal. Like the world does not revolve around Kyle.
I don't know. I hate both these men. I don't care what happens to their alcohol companies. So back to the boys' car. They're barking, they're howling, the dogs are here. No. I hate men. If we want to talk about how much I hate men, it's these men.
Like, what are the editors doing? I don't need to see this. Like, they can howl all they want. Just leave me out of it.
So we're still on the island of Manhattan, and Jesse's like, hey, we got to talk about Lexi, who is not here this weekend because she's in Toronto visiting her best friend's baby. Which everyone's like, thank God, honestly.
I was like, I was hoping we would have a nice little weekend without her, but if you're going to mention her every 10 minutes.
Stop.
Like,
so Carl is throwing a party tomorrow. It's going to be shipwrecked theme. It's an homage to the Pittsburgh Pirates. That's what he says.
I know, but I was like, come on, why don't you just say you're having like a pirate shipwreck theme? Why do we have to make this about baseball when it's not about baseball?
Because he's from Pittsburgh.
So
he's
have a baseball
Pittsburgh
party.
Fan. If you ever throw a bird-themed party, it's in homage to the Cardinals. Like it just, that's what it has to be.
You know
so
what?
your next bird-themed party,
I can invite Sierra and Amanda because they already have their bird costumes. Like, all right, I'm in. My 30th birthday.
That wasn't the point, though. The point was that it's an homage to your favorite baseball team.
I just would never.
If I ever throw a Sox party, it's an homage of the White Sox.
Every day that you put on socks on your feet, you're like,
it's an homage. It's an homage. Best part of Carl's party, Lindsay won't be there. Woo, woo, woo. That's what he does. He barks.
When he whoop, 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 I was like, stop it. I now see why you haven't had sex in a year. Bark, bark.
Bark, bark, bark. I don't even think I barked right. Who barks in their free time, honestly?
The boys.
Carl also invited a girl named Lil who slid into his DMs. They've been chatting since October. And she's a yoga instructor, and Carl is feeling it. And I said, since October, it's July. Have you met?
I don't know. I was like, wow. Oh, okay. Like,
have you
you're
met?
Doing nothing with your romantic life. Which, okay.
Actually.
Go. The after show.
Okay, I watched the after show. I was going to say.
Lexi and Gabby, or Lexi said, I actually thought it was so funny when she was like, I do have deep conversations, and this is one of them. That Carl told her he wanted to do a year sober and not in a relationship because he didn't do that his first year of sobriety. And I think that is wonderful. I just wish he would have said that, and the editors would have put that in.
I didn't care about that part of the after show. I cared about them talking about Lil and how she's actually kind of a fucking weirdo, dude. She kept inviting Sierra to her yoga dance class. Someone else got invited to a trampoline class by this woman. Apparently, Carl met her through her parents. Like, nothing makes sense. Nothing makes sense about it.
I guess like Carl went to like a soccer game and they were sitting next to him.
But my other thing is, like, if it's October, that's start chatting.
Weirds me out.
And you both live in this. I'm assuming Lil lives in New York because she can come to the Hamptons on the weekend.
Yeah.
You didn't. There wasn't a Tuesday. You were just like, hey.
She has to live in New York
January?
or at least the Hamptons, because she was inviting the cast to like come to her workout classes. So if she didn't live near.
Yeah.
Why would she invite them?
I don't know, like a Tuesday in January you could have met up. Like there wasn't one free day that you could just let's
I
meet
don't
in
know enough
person before
details to fully make this comment, but I'm going to make it anyways. It feels a little opportunistic to like be talking to Carl, to slide into his DMs after your parents meet him, not meet up with him, but then like be into him for the summer. It just is giving
No, I
like I
completely
wanted to be on a
agree.
reality TV show.
So, I don't know about you, but we got to get Carl laid this weekend.
Please not by
it's
this
the
girl.
house's job.
I don't need any more of this girl on my screen.
So we get to the Hamptons around 5:06 p.m. Lindsay isn't coming. She's with Turner's family. We have to set up Amanda's surprise birthday party. Sierra's also here to help if she can make it through the door with these balloons because this door fucking hates the cat. It hates to open.
It has gotten worse this season in this episode too.
You know who's here? Woo, 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 the dogs. They roll up.
Stop.
Kyle and Amanda get here. As Kyle and Amanda are like walking in, Craig is like, "Hey, you got a sonogram?" And Carl's like, "It's not mine." That was funny. That was
person
good,
who
Carl.
points it out, I'm like, you in real time of filming this show know Lindsay's pregnant. Like, what shouldn't we all know this is just Lindsay's sonogram?
Well, why is it blown up in a communal living space? Like that's where I'd be like, why do you have a sonogram here?
You know what? They should just put it in Lindsay's room.
No, I think it's funny now, the lore of the sonogram.
As a viewer, I think it's funny that every person who walks in this house is like sonogram. But as like Carl, I would be like, Paige, put that up in her room this weekend.
No, Carl's in on it. Carl doesn't want to piss off Lindsay. He's scared of her. If Lindsay wants the sonogram in public, that's where it's going to be.
And he's proving that he's the cool girl. Like, oh, I can deal with everything.
Meredith,
worries. Roll with the punches.
You're stepping out of line. You're about to get kicked out of the house. Don't touch that sonogram. I'm about to kick you out myself. Don't touch Lindsay's sonogram.
I just want it to be about me, not Lindsay's sonogram.
No, it's Lindsay's sonogram even when she's not here. So, happy birthday, Amanda. She's 33. At least Amanda thinks so because sometimes she forgets her birthday. This year feels different because finally Amanda feels like herself mentally. She can focus on other things that her anxiety and depression was holding her back from. Beautiful, Amanda.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Do you think Kyle did anything for her birthday? Because it didn't seem like he was involved in this birthday party thing at all.
I think Kyle would have had to known about the birthday party because Paige would have said drive later,
last.
so you show up.
Yeah, but like it's not like he helped with anything or was like, "Oh, I brought a cake."
I'm sure they did something like on their own because it was a surprise party. He couldn't be like, "Amanda, grab your cake and bring it." You know?
No.
So he couldn't have helped with this, and I understand that. I bet he did something separate for her. Because it was her birthday Wednesday.
No, I know. That's why I didn't go on social media and drag him, but
I think it's fine.
a few years ago, he had never gotten a present for her in like 4 years, so.
He unlike Jax Taylor, he's slowly learning. Kyle slowly does get a little-ish better on certain things.
I hope
on
so.
certain specific things, I bet he did. I'm not going to speculate that he didn't. I think he's fine. But I will say this birthday party is awkward because Craig and Kyle have not talked. So the boys ruined her birthday party, basically. Well, not really, but it's just weird.
Well, it was like a little awkward, like surface level awkward, because obviously everybody's thinking about it. But they were, all talking in general, that it wasn't like dead silent and these two are just staring at each other. Like the evening was flowing.
No, but we all know. If we all know of the issue...
I know. Well, the problem
Meredith,
really
go
was
with
Jesse.
me on this. We all know. So Kyle is planning on addressing everything with Craig. He does admit it was wrong of him to let his emotions get the better of him, but he feels as if he was lied to and he is hurt. So now they need to fix things for Amanda and Paige. Okay, so we all go to our rooms to get ready. Jesse and Wes are finally having roommate hangs because Lexi's not here, thank God. Carl and Kyle do a quick talk. Carl tells Kyle that he got a trademark for his new company, Soft Bar. Yeah.
That is exciting. Anyway. Like, I'm excited to watch Carl maybe talk about this process because we know he's going to launch it this summer.
Well, in case you don't know, Soft Bar is currently looking for public investment. So there were no major investors because
that was awkward.
That doesn't look good. That doesn't seem good. Also, fun fact, I have a friend who sometimes does content for creators. And Carl recently did a collaboration with Melissa Wood Health. And my friend met him and said he was pretty awkward. And he opened with, I wish I could find the exact text, but it was something like they met in the in the lobby, and then they took the elevator together. And Carl did I'm on this show called Summer House. And my friend who avidly watches Bravo was like, "Oh, really?" And just played it off.
I can't imagine introducing myself like that.
If that was me, I would have just spit out and been like, "I'm a Hub House fan," or so. It just would have come out. That would have been good. And I've been like, "Sorry." But yeah, my friend was straight up like, okay. And she said Carl wouldn't stop talking to her. And she's like, I don't know if he was flirting or not, but it was weird.
Interesting.
But yeah, he did a collab with Melissa Wood Health. It looked like fun. My friend was there. So fun, super fun. Carl is the guy he goes, I'm on this show called Summer House.
I'm on that show. You know me from the show.
Called not even there's a show Summer House. I'm sometimes on. It was I'm on this show. In case you don't know,
it's not like somebody was staring at him and he was like, yes, I'm from that show. It's
no.
That's how he breaks the ice. Hey.
No, it was so funny when she was texting and saying, I'm in an elevator with Carl. What do I do? So yeah, very fun. Anyway, so Soft Bar, it's gonna be a mindful consumption bar and cafe, non-alcoholic drinks that are more sophisticated and elevated. And he's like, Lindsay didn't believe I could do it, and I said, no, Lindsay didn't believe you could open a sober sports bar. That's different than an elevated
You were too niche. And also, I agree with Lindsay. He was all across the board. So to be honest, anything he pitched, I wouldn't have believed he was serious about it. That's not saying you can't do it. It's saying you just don't seem like you're going to do it.
Yeah, it's not the time. But Carl even says, thank you, Lindsay, because he went back and he refined his idea. And Lindsay's welcome at Soft Bar anytime, which he kind of named after their issues. So,
well, I think that just coincided. The real reason does also make sense.
Of what? Soft Bar?
Well, because it's hard alcohol, so it's non-alc is soft.
Oh my god! I literally thought it was because he said he wanted a soft.
Are you serious?
Yes.
I'm dying.
Oh
that would be weird, Alicia.
That's why I thought it was weird.
Okay, I'm glad now you know.
Hard. Oh my god. This was real. I really thought he was just everyone gave me shit for calling, saying Lindsay wasn't soft, so I'm naming it after her. Oh my god.
Oh God, no!
I quit.
I think the concept is good. I think it's going to be really tough, but any restaurant is tough.
I literally thought he was naming this after wanting soft women.
Nope.
That's why I thought it was dumb. That's why I was like, who would go here? Oh,
this makes more sense now.
I'm so sorry, Carl, honestly. I thought you were such an asshole about it. But I was
God. I'm so curious how many people thought the same thing that you did.
It's probably just me. I'm usually the dumbest in the room.
No, I bet there's also people out there.
Oh my God. I made a whole TikTok being Soft Bar.
Oh, I thought you were just being funny and leaning into that. I didn't know that you didn't know at all.
I was like, he's such an ass. He's just sitting here saying,
I thought you were just being funny. Because that is a funny side of the name that doesn't actually have anything to do with it, but it does lean into this niche thing.
That's what I thought the whole thing
was. Oh no, Alicia. Okay.
Oh my God. My TikTok got so many views. Oh no. Okay, well,
I think people thought you were joking, so let's just say that.
That's awesome. Okay, so Anyway, moving on from that, Kyle needs to talk to Craig because he's never felt more attacked. And I said,
can't.
I'm over this. These
Oh
two
my
need to
God.
talk immediately and squash it or not squash it. But I'm over this, like, we have to talk vibe.
Well, and I'm so over this, like, oh, poor me, I'm such a victim from both sides. It's like, you guys had a little tiff. It's not really that deep. Like,
That's the thing.
like they're acting like each one slept with their partner. Like, it's business. Chill the fuck out. He like signed an ad agreement and then invested in a company. It's really not that big of a deal.
No, that's my thing, is like, truly, no one's right, no one's wrong. Squash it and be done, because it's ruining the vibes. We all know that it's an issue. Like,
that's what it
move
is.
on.
Is like they're making this such a monumental thing. This is becoming bigger than Lindsay and Carl's like engagement breakup.
No, truly, it's bigger than Wes and Sierra at this point. Like, I'm so over it. Anyway, it's Friday, 7:08 p.m. Jesse invites Sierra to his room. He's like, come in. And Wes is there. And Sierra pops her head in. And then she's like, no thanks. And she leaves. But Wes and Jesse are both like, she looked in the room. We're making
Getting
progress.
closer.
And Wes is like, maybe next time we can make eye contact. Maybe a
Oh
hi,
my
goodbye type vibe. And Jesse is like, I'm going to talk to Sierra because it shouldn't be like this. We're the three best friends that anyone could have. And like, I'm feeling caught. So I'm going to convince Sierra that Wes isn't a bad guy. And I was like, no, you need to not.
I
don't
agree. I think the only thing you could talk to her about is saying hi and goodbye to him should be okay.
Yeah.
So like,
don't
let's
be
get
like,
to that level.
He's actually the best guy I know.
But I think what Jesse's going to say is like, I want the three of us to hang out. And it's like, that doesn't need to happen.
You should have instead, before Wes ended things with Sierra, talked to Wes and said, let's do this the right way, so that maybe before Wes talked to, I don't know, the New York Times, you could have been like, hey man, think about the three of us.
Because I don't think
Sierra's fault.
I don't think Wes, the way he ended it was like a bad thing. It's like what happened after the fact is really what made Sierra not even want to talk to him at all.
And so like Jesse can't be like, Sierra, it's not that big a deal. It's like, you can't.
Like, just
she
get
was
over it.
Yeah. No. So Jesse brings up Wes texting other girls, and he's like, Wes, like, who are those girls? Am I ever going to meet them? And Wes tells us, like, he just likes attention. Like, he really doesn't have anything serious going on. He's also not going to bring that into the house because he does want to keep it cool with Sierra. And also, like, the girl Jesse's talking about lives in Montana. So, like,
it's
literally she's not.
Yeah, I get that. Where you're like, this isn't, to put something on a TV show is a lot. So if you're just like casually flirting with someone, I'm not doing that, especially in the temperature of this house right now.
I would like to say in the after show, he is asked about Brianna Chicken Fry because I think they admitted to making out.
He did. He is the one who confirmed that. I find it so funny that West talks to publications or like any type of media type and then is shocked when people are interested and like watch or read an article or whatever. And he's like, wow, I just really didn't think this would be a big deal. It's like, you are on a TV show. You're involved with people, also public figures. People care. And then he tends to like blame the women about it. Like, I'm not a Brianna Chicken Fry fan, but like, he's the one who made it a public thing.
Yeah, he like admits all his dirty business. And then he's like, why does everyone know my dirty business?
And then he like says that she made TikToks about it, which like she did say she made out with somebody, but she did not say him. He's the one who like fully linked them together and confirmed it. Like, why are you shocked then that it's like all over the place?
She's also doing the thing where she's like on a rebound, just trying to like, you know, stick it to Zach or whatever. So anytime she makes out with someone, she's gonna be like, I mean out with someone.
Yeah, but like, she's not the one who made this an insane thing for him. He literally did that.
Wes like commented on her TikTok and was like, stop talking about me. And he's like, how does everyone know it's me?
He's like outing himself constantly and then being like, I can't believe people are like reading my comments. That's wild.
My God, literally is so weird. So Uber Eats is here.
Oh my
sponsorship
God.
with the pizza. Can I say this is probably my dream 33rd birthday is a pizza party like this.
That's true.
Paige is showing everyone her trying to find her cat Daphne, who's not coming out for snacks because there are no
the thing
snacks.
Isn't full. Craig, where are the snacks?
They didn't come this morning. That's all right. So Jesse takes forever to come downstairs because he's been looking in the mirror for so long, and then he finally comes downstairs.
I thought that was so funny.
I mean, he was just like not coming downstairs. And
but
then
why is he looking in the mirror so much when Lexi isn't even here? He like cares the most about what everyone says.
Like. That's what everyone says. Also, it's a pajama party. Come on.
I loved his outfit. I did love his outfit.
Great.
I feel like he's getting the vibe of fun outfits for the summer house.
I think he's just getting Hamptons more because it's a very specific style.
Yeah.
Toast to Amanda's 33rd birthday. She's old as fuck, but not as old as Kyle. And then she also does remember when I was the youngest? And I do Amanda. You're a little 29. Nope, 25. So cute, so full of life. Until Kyle crushed it out of you a little bit.
So much happiness. So much early fighting, though. They used to fight over the really dumbest shit.
All the time. So Craig and Kyle are kind of talking a little bit, but everyone like knows that they were fighting. So Jesse's like, hey, did you guys squash your beef? And Kyle was like,
no.
I was like, way to ruin Amanda's birthday. But Kyle says, like, I texted Craig ahead of time. And Craig's like, I texted you back. And Kyle's like, yeah, I just think we should talk like sooner rather than later. Which from Kyle's perspective, I get. We're only here for a weekend. Like, we're going to be drunk tomorrow. Let's just squash it. And Summer House is very big, like the whole cast, on like immediately kind of talking your issues out on camera. Like,
but not necessarily because that's not what Paige and Kyle did when they had their tiff. Like, they had it also at dinner. So if you really valued like squashing it, he would have done it before the dinner. Like, this is Amanda's birthday dinner. Like, this is not the moment her husband should be like fighting with somebody.
No, but Paige and Kyle did it the day of at dinner. Like the day they got to the house, they squashed it.
Yes. I'm just saying if you really valued starting the weekend off right, the minute you walked in, he would have pulled Craig.
No, Kyle's going to do it in front of the camera at dinner.
Absolutely.
So everyone's involved. He can produce it. But I agree with Kyle on we have to get it done the first night. We got to squash it.
I understand like him wanting to do that. But when somebody else like says they don't want to, you cannot just keep forcing.
That's it. Craig was like, I don't really want to do it. And Kyle's like, I just think we should talk tonight. And Craig's like, no, I'm not going to talk tonight. And Amanda has to be like, Kyle, it looks like you're not talking tonight. But then my thing is, I understand Craig doesn't want to do it tonight, but then this whole thing like festers and everyone is like, we feel the awkwardness. Even if you kind of talk with each other, plus like do it on TV. And when are you going to do it? Tomorrow at the pirate party?
It's all going to be on camera no matter when it happens. So I think take that out of it. But I only am annoyed with Kyle because when he doesn't get his way, he has a goddamn meltdown. Like, it has to be his way or the highway. And that's what bothers me. Even if Craig said, let's do it after dinner, Kyle would have been like, let's do it right now at this table. It's never okay unless it's Kyle's way.
I'm going to give it to my dude, Kyle. This is his show. He's saying, let's
end
it now. Paige, I'm sure, was like, can you just end it, Craig? Like, everyone wants this over with. And Craig is being his little bitch self. And he's like, no, I'm going to do it later.
It's just annoying when Kyle...
fester everything.
I know. I just got annoyed when Kyle walked out and, like, slammed the door and has his little tantrum where he's like, I'm like, oh, my God, again?
That was... hilarious. Yeah, Kyle goes outside and he's ranting about how Craig's a sucker. And I think sucker for me is up there with loser. Like, that's the funniest insult. Craig's a sucker.
That was like, go cry funny. In your car, Kyle. Like, shut up.
Good for him. But then, Craig, because I know Craig. He's a little bitch. He's so happy. He's going to sit there all smug with his pizza. But Paige and Amanda both look miserable. Like, please just do it for the house. Stop being a fucking asswipe about it. Stop being a sucker.
I think why they're miserable is because they're both the same type of guy where they need to be right and it needs to be their way. And so they know no matter which way it goes down, one of them's going to be unhappy, which means one of the girls is going to suffer, which means both girls are going to suffer because they care about each other.
This was annoying. I was like, Craig, this isn't your fucking domain. Have the conversation and be done with it.
Yeah,
Don't
well,
bring this into day 2.
I did see somebody say that like Craig is sober at this point and Kyle is not. And so if
that's a good point.
Craig really wanted to have like a serious conversation and it meant a lot to him and he wanted to have it sober, then say like, I want to do it first thing tomorrow morning. But you don't wait till the party because like then it's not about the alcohol consumption. It's about Craig being a little bitch.
Maybe I just don't think it's like that big a deal and this can be solved in, I don't know, 7 seconds. But I forget that these boys are literally children.
They are so emotional about this. To them, it's the biggest deal in the world. And I can't even say that with a straight face. Like, this is so stupid.
Honestly, I'd be more mad if, like, I don't know, someone stepped on my toe than, like, if this happened. Like, this just means very little to me.
I just can't imagine being this upset with people that I'm not that close with.
Also a week later. Like, I have done enough sleeps now that like I
not
forgot
even a week later. This has been a while. This happened in the spring.
Well, yeah, but the rage texting happened like last week.
Yeah. Kyle crashed out again.
Kyle was crashed out. He was mad about it. A week later, like, aren't we not that mad about it? And it seemed like Kyle wasn't. He's like, let's just chat. But Craig's the one like, no.
Well, he gets just fired up and Craig won't chat at that moment. So Kyle starts to spiral again.
Let's just chat. My God. Anyway, so it's time for Amanda's birthday party. Some people are going to go out, but most people are going to stay in. But we got our crew. And I will never dislike these people only because they always go out. Gabby, Jesse, Wes, Carl, and Imral.
You know what? I got to give it to Carl every time. Like, Carl brings the vibe
sober.
Even if he's sober.
Yeah. That's amazing. Paige and Craig talk about the issue with Kyle. Paige clearly is like, please just end it. And Craig is like, I don't want this issue to be over quick. I want us to really discuss it because this is really serious and Kyle doesn't deserve the conversation on his terms. That was
wild. He's at one point he says he doesn't even deserve a conversation at all. And I was like, what? This is, even if you don't have your own friendship with Kyle, this is your girlfriend's basically like coworker and more than a coworker because they don't have normal jobs. Like, you gotta squash this beef.
He's pulling kind of like, in a sense, the way Kyle doesn't really care about like Amanda's feelings when he fights. Craig isn't caring about Paige's feelings either. He's just doing it sober instead of crashing out drunk. Which is almost kind of, it to me, just because I've been drunk and I've crashed out before, a little worse because Craig seems vindictive about it. Like, Kyle just loses his emotions because he's so passionate. Craig is like, I'm calculated and I don't even fucking want to do this. It's going to be on my terms. Right.
In this moment that I'm like, all right, I'm on Kyle's side now. Like, I understand if you want to have a conversation at a certain point, you guys are fighting over when it is. Like, this is stupid. I hate you both. But now that you're like holding this conversation over his head to not resolve it, but resolve it exactly how you want is like, again, this is so stupid.
Crazy. This is weird, like crazy manipulative shit. I don't even know.
At the expense of both of the partners. Like,
and can I just say,
Paige and Amanda don't deserve this.
If you've watched Old Southern Charm, this is Craig. This was Craig. He wants to be a little manipulative.
And I think early Craig did not have any of the power to be able to really lean in and do
that was the problem.
Whereas
he got made fun of. Yeah.
Now he can do it and he will take full advantage of these situations.
And dare I say, he has the backing of one of the world's favorite Bravo stars, Paige. So he's extra, like, I got power.
Not just backing, like, she said on the after show, like, she would clean shit up. That, like, she's going to ride hard to, like, kind of help prove him right or, like, defend him to a certain degree.
Crazy.
Not at the expense of, like, Amanda. But
I always knew something was fucking weird about Craig. Remember Winterhouse when he was, like, bitching about cleaning up? He's such a fucking loser, this dude. A sucker, if you will.
I think a lot of those moments got masked because I think a lot of it was fueled also by alcohol. He got worse.
True.
And so him not drinking, he's more cognizant to not put these moments on camera, but that doesn't mean they weren't happening. He was being manipulative and didn't put them on camera.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I hate him. Anyway, it's fine. So we go out. It's 12:15 a.m. The boys and Gabby were partying. We cut back to the house. Craig is picking his nose, and he's like, Paige, are you up? And she's like, no.
Oh my God, full lights on. I was like, turn those damn lights off. Let that girl sleep.
His little nosies, flicking it onto a sleeping Paige. No, he didn't flick it or anything.
He's not used to being that surveillance footage.
Yeah. So it's 2:26 a.m. The out crew gets fucked up by this door. And then they finally make it in the house. And they're like, you know what? We may not have cleaned up, but that's a good thing because we got snacks. Other thing we should note is to preserve the cake. Sierra put the cake in the oven and they're going to make drunk food. And Jesse was like, holy fuck, who put the cake in the oven?
Because I think they were like going to reheat the pizza. Like they were saying like, oh, nobody will turn the oven on. And then of course it does happen.
We're going to make mac and cheese. We're eating chips. We're laughing. Oh, this is so fun. Gabby and the boys. I'm Gabby and the boys.
I was sad because Kyle is the king of drunk food. And I felt like he was missing out on this moment. But he tends to do it solo.
Yeah. It's only funny when Kyle's alone talking and eating stuff. If he's with people, it's not as funny.
Falls asleep with his hand in a bag of chips.
Yeah, in a bag of chips. What I loved was, I don't even know what was funny, but Jesse was like shoving chips in their mouth and everyone was like, ha ha ha, look at Jesse eat his chips. And I was like, this is fun. Gabby and the boys. Oh, I'm such a fan of Gabby and the boys. And then Gabby is like, I'm going to go before I got to clean up. Bye. And I was like,
loved.
Gabby might win my fun because she's out and about and hanging with the boys.
Wow.
And she's not even here half the episode.
Calling it early.
I was having fun with Gabby and the boys.
I liked it. Well, Jesse was treating this like a boys' weekend. Like he was like, oh, the misses are away. I was like, you should be able to bring this energy when she is here, though.
It was so fun. He was being destructive. He was kicking things and knocking chairs over. And then Emerald is laughing at him while cleaning up and eating pizza before throwing it in the trash bag.
That was diabolical.
It was awesome. And then Jesse and Wes are like, we're going to put our beds together. And I was like,
so excited. I was so excited. My friends did this in college. Our freshman year, they made a mega bed out of two twins. But this being two like queens.
This was fun.
Oh, hell yeah.
I almost wish it went closer. It looked a little too far away even. I was like, push them closer. This was fun content. And this is what I need all the time. Okay?
Well, I'm very thankful
come back.
that they brought this episode because the rest of it was just like filler and blah and like whatever.
If you're gonna fill an episode, if you're gonna fill an episode, do it with this.
Yeah.
I want to see Jesse karate chopping balloons and Emerald eating shit from the garbage bag and Gabby like can't open the door. It was so good. That's classic Summer House I want.
I know. They're really missing the like fun times. I like the drama is good. I'm like, yes, we do need a certain level of drama. But I need a break. But so I have fun. Summer should be fun.
I know. And my other thing is, if you were to be like, who's expensive or who's expendable on this cast, it's sad because Gabby would be one of them because she doesn't bring drama. But these are the moments I'm like, no, you got to keep Gabby because she's the only girl out here with the boys. But what people
always forget, and we always remind them, is you need your B characters. You need the people that are like the party and the buffer and the people have conversations with. It can't just be all Paige and Craig and Kyle like fighting. Like you need somebody that because then
they'll never go out. They'll always cry and then go to bed, and I can't have that. I need dumb Emerald out here with the boys. He's getting laid. Like it's fun. It's just fun. Okay, but Jesse and Wes, they're sharing their little mega bed. They're renewing their vows this weekend without Lexi.
I was like, Jesus.
Wes looks at Jesse and he's like, never is Lexi going to take this away from me. It was awesome. So Saturday, 10:13 a.m., everyone's starting to wake up. Carl and Kyle are going to go for their run. Paige said she is sleepy and doesn't feel good because when her arms start to hurt, that's how she knows she's getting sick. And I went, excuse me?
Don't you have, my arms don't hurt, but I have something where I'm like, ooh, this is my signal. Like, this is a weird way I'm feeling.
Yeah. But now my arms.
I always get this weird taste in my mouth and I'm like, oh, it's coming on. I'm like, I'm about to have the flu.
I'll always get like a slight tickle in my throat or like expanded lymph nodes in my back or in the back of my ear. Yeah, but that's
like normal. Like you need some, like you don't have anything abnormal where you're like, oh, this is a weird quirky thing where it's like my body. I know my body so well.
No, but this is actually really kind of weird. When I was sick or like when I was young, I wouldn't want to miss school because like the worst being at school was bad, but you know what was worse was like having to make things up. I was like, I never want to just like have twice as much homework. So I would try to go to school even when I was sick. And my mom knew if I was sick because I wouldn't look at myself in the mirror. Because I hated the way she always said like I was so vain. I would always like look at myself in the mirror and make sure everything looked good. Even if I looked bad, I would just like always pass a mirror and look at myself. And if I was sick, I never looked at myself. So and she's like, I know you're sick. Home? Well, she'd be like, you didn't look at yourself in the mirror. Go to bed. And I'd be like, how'd you catch me? Anyway. But Craig says that he felt awkward last night because it's a weird position to be in. And Paige is like, I know, because like I'm in that situation too.
To him.
And Craig's like, I don't think Kyle deserves my friendship. And Paige separately in her interview tells us that she's a little annoyed with Craig because of like their own issues in their relationship. But now because he's avoiding this conversation with Kyle, especially because like FYI, Craig, the way that they do shit in this house is they do it immediately on camera. They always dish it out. Like there's never, think of even Paige and Kyle. They were having a nice dinner and Paige goes, Kyle had a lot to say to me last week. Let's talk about it. Like you just call it out and you fucking deal with it. And Craig's like, no, I'm just going to like not do it. So Paige is like, what the fuck? This is our show. Do it our way.
It's annoying that he doesn't want to do it at all.
Yeah. Well, Paige is stressed and she's like, you know, Paige is already stressed and it's even more stressful because Craig doesn't know that he is like stressing out Paige doing this. Like
I think the biggest thing is it's for no reason. Like if he said the sobriety thing, like I would rather have a clear-minded conversation because this means a lot to me. Okay.
Fine.
I don't think that would cause Paige stress then to be like, no, that's a decent reason. All right, sense. You're going to talk to him tomorrow morning. But that's not what's happening. It's just this like ticking time bomb of like, is this even going to happen?
So Craig just doesn't want to rush this conversation because it's more serious than Kyle recognizes. And I was like, the most serious thing about it was that he texted your girlfriend rage texting. But the fact that they're over it means that the most serious part of this is over.
To me, like, the most serious part is, like, Kyle's big emotions. So, like, it's not serious on Craig's side. I made a decision for me. I am being selfish in this moment. And, like, there's not much to talk about from Craig's side.
What are we talking? I know. So, it's 11:09 a.m. Jesse wakes Wes up by pouring water on his head. And he's like, come on, we got to wake up and work out. I miss when they were roommates. See, he's already roommates with Lexi.
I love this. More of this.
Carl's a little nervous for his shipwrecked Pittsburgh Pirates party, whatever. But he's getting seafood and a real boat. So the boys go to the gym. Amanda's working on her swimsuit line because South Moon Under reached out to Amanda to design the swimsuit because they saw, I'm sure, last season and was like, you know what? She could design a swimsuit for us. So the design process hasn't started, but she has all these samples that she's trying on to put the swimsuit together. Her swimsuit line now is out. I think it only has a few pieces. People did buy them. And unfortunately, there were quite a few people who posted on TikTok and were like, these are terrible. But they said like there are issues with it. And Amanda actually commented and she's like, please DM me with more notes.
Yeah.
Because, you know, she's just getting started. Which
I don't think they were terrible.
Great.
I think it's just like ill-fitting and
they
like.
didn't fit. Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just, you don't know until you don't know. But I mean, the OG company should have known is the problem. But I like how she responded to it. Like you said, she
Same.
reached out
I
to
loved
people.
that. It makes me want to like buy it and just be like, here are my notes. And she would actually listen. Like, that's really nice to hear.
I
From
agree.
like someone who made something.
It would feel like, because sometimes when you buy something and you don't love it, and if you can't return it, you're like, this was a waste. So it doesn't feel as much of a waste. You're like, okay,
Yeah.
I would feel more comfortable buying from
I'm
them
giving
in the
my
future.
feedback.
Because they're willing to pivot too. They're not shutting down creators who have negative feedback. Like if somebody has something constructively, to say, take it and run with it. Why not?
Yeah. So Gabby and Amanda see this boat coming in the backyard. And they're like, wow, that's a full-on fucking boat. And Gabby's like, look at how happy Carl is.
That was cool. That was a good idea, Carl. I'm going to give it to your Pittsburgh Pirates baseball-themed homage party, like the boat.
Carl is such a boy. He's obsessed with this boat. Gabby's like, I've never seen this man happier. Yeah. But Gabby's also never seen Carl outside of a relationship with Lindsay. So she's like, I kind of want to see him spit game. And I was like, girl, you're going to be disappointed. Let me tell you, don't worry about it. He has no game. No offense to Carl, but he's never really had
definitely
game. He's just been hot. He's just always been hot and available for women.
And I think when he was drunk, he was able to do the thing that we love to do where you kind of make fun of people and you can have like a little bit better banter, but like without substances, like he tenses up a little bit more. So
he's also technically never dated sober. So he doesn't know his sober game.
That's true because like Lindsay really doesn't count. Like they started their like interest when he was drinking years ago.
Finger bang.
Stop. I didn't need to think about that ever again.
That's what it was. Yeah, so it's interesting, but Gabby, I am sorry. I could tell you Carl doesn't really got a lot of game.
No, but I do appreciate the smile on his face because he's like excited and happy about his party.
You know what he does have is a boat, which is just as awesome as game.
No, it's 12:20. It's not, but whatever.
It could be. It's 12:29 p.m. We're at the gym with the boys. Everyone's like shocking Emerald didn't get laid last night. And Emerald's like, I know I had to like tone it down. But he's actually here tonight to wingman for Carl. And he's a good wingman because he invited 20 girls to this party. So that's a wingman.
The guys were like, wait, this was for Carl. Which it's like, Emerald will probably find one that he's interested in, and then the other 19 are for Carl.
Emerald gets at least 5, and then the rest, Carl. 20 girls in a night is crazy. So
no, but there are 20 options. Like, you get a few strikeouts, you still got a whole ball game basically ahead of you to keep this Pittsburgh Pirates theme.
If Emerald invites you to this party, you're probably going to hopefully maybe hook up with Emerald.
Yeah.
Right? Unless it's like, hey, you come invite your friend, like bring a friend. Right?
I bet it's a mix of that. But also you're like, you're going to be on reality TV. So like the world is your oyster.
Yeah. So rock out. And like I said, 20 girls in a night is crazy for Emerald. So Carl gets whatever Emerald doesn't need. That's easy. Perfect. Yeah. And Carl's only going to get 1. It only takes 1 anyway. So Emerald has 19 to choose from.
And to be honest, he's not going to hook up with somebody on camera. That's not going to be the first time he sleeps with someone in a year. So, like, honestly, we just need him to flirt with someone. We're easing him back into, like, the world of dating.
And he has his girl Lil coming. So, like,
I already forgot she existed.
So, Jessie is like, guys, all I'm thinking about is Lexi, even though she's not here. And she did tell him to behave this weekend. And Jessie and Lexi, they aren't official, but they're moving kind of slow, they feel like. They've only hung out on weekends, and they haven't had sex. And Emerald's like, no sex? And I was like, yeah, man, this dude's whipped over no sex. Can you believe?
Yeah. Also, when he said only weekends, it gave me red alarm bells from the Carl and Paige days of like, he only talks to me on the weekends. Like, if you are actually interested in Lexi, why are you not trying to like go on a date on a Wednesday?
Mm-hmm. So Lexi she only has sex with people that she's exclusive with, which Jessie says they are exclusive, but they haven't like talked about it. And Kyle's like, hey man, she's not here. So this could be like your last weekend before your exclusive.
Oh,
and he's like, stop. Don't do this to me, Kyle.
That's not a good idea. Like, that's
a bad idea.
Yeah, you can't just like go be a fuckboy the weekend right before you want to like make it Meredith, officially exclusive. Like that's not going to rev her engine.
Meredith, I got to be honest. I feel like you're telling us something that we all know. We know it was a joke, clearly.
I don't think it really was.
I think Kyle meant it as a joke, but he's also a troublemaker. He's like, hey, man.
Well, I don't think he's telling him to go sleep with someone, but he's like, go flirt with all the girls you can. Like, let's get it out of your system. Like, the way that guys talk about, like, a bachelor party, that's, like, the vibe I'm getting from Kyle is, like, here we go. Yeah, like, last hurrah.
I think he's just tempting Jesse, right? To see how serious he is about Lexi. Because they're all are like, you've known her for 12 days and you're already obsessed. So, like, you could flirt with other girls. It's not a big deal. And he's like, no, it would be. I can't do it.
That's what's annoying. I think they all know that, like, Jesse doesn't really want to be in it like this and this quickly. So, maybe they're trying to, like, tempt him in the right way to be like, let's not, like, do the other stuff.
Or, like, if he doesn't, like, if he had responded, I think it's all about how Jesse responded, because Kyle said that, and Jesse's like, oh, don't tempt me, man, don't say that. Where Jesse could have said, like, yeah, but I really like Lexi, so I'm not going to do that.
I'm not even interested.
It's all about how you responded.
True. Well, so Jesse's response tells us that he doesn't want to be in a relationship.
He's tempted. So it's 2:01 p.m. Everyone goes to check out the ship because there's a fucking ship in the backyard, which Craig loves. Craig loves a ship. And they see a cannon and they're like, is the cannon operational? And the main guy's like, no, it's not.
Like, I would not put an operational cannon around a bunch of drunk people in the backyards of a Hampton house.
So then Carl's like, hey, everyone, all hands on deck for this party. And everyone's like, no, we're not going to do that. Try again. So only Kyle's really helping. And they have to ask other people to help, but Kyle won't ask Craig to help. Because they still haven't had this fucking conversation.
I'm not going to ask Craig. I'm going to know.
Yeah, fucking, but they still haven't had, if Craig said no, right? Kyle last night was like, we should have this conversation. And Craig is like, no, we'll do it tomorrow. Then it's Craig's responsibility to be like, hey, man, let's have this conversation.
I agree with that. Like you pushed it to tomorrow. Ball is in your court now. Again, what are you going to do at mid-party? Like, that's just not the vibe.
So Kyle's like, I'm not even going to fucking talk to Craig. And I was like, be petty. Be petty, bitch. Let's do it. But Jesse and Sierra are avoiding helping. So they're laying on a floaty instead. And they're like flirting and they're touching knees. And Jesse like pretends to fall on top of her. And Sierra says she doesn't have any intentions behind the flirting. But she says if the opportunity presented itself, she's 90% sure that Jesse would take it. I was like, maybe same.
Well, like, I knew he would probably be 90% in. I want to know what Sierra's percentage in. Like,
well, she's not, is the point. If she's like, it's a 0 from me, but if it wasn't,
I don't think 90%. It is a 0 from her. I think you could convince me that in a like drunk moment, they're at a bar having the best time, they lock eyes, something happens.
I don't think Sierra's into it. I think she likes Jesse, but I don't think her and Jesse have like I think their flirting isn't like romantic. I think it's very fun and like fine.
Yeah,
but like with
this
Wes,
definitely was more on the friend side.
With Wes, I could see like, okay, they're like flirting, but it's like cute. Like Jesse and Sierra are flirting like, I don't know, like how you would flirt with maybe your friend's boyfriend, you know, that you're like,
it's
not
just the banter way.
Ever.
Like they're just really good at bantering and having like that volleying conversation back and forth. But you're right. Like Wes was always like pushing a relationship forward and like testing the bounds and becoming intimate and like all of those things.
And I could feel that. Like, even if the other thing is this is so like out of the world flirting that I'm like, it's not even real. You know what I mean? This is like when I flirt with someone and I'm like, hey, hottie, how's it? Like, fucking ew. I would never say that. Whereas Wes and like Sierra had it more of like there was flirting as something there, like they were building.
Well, and you're more nervous. Like you're waiting to see people's responses. Like there's more pauses and like little giggles. Whereas like they are just driving on in the bit.
Jesse literally was like, I'm horny because your knee is touching me. Like that, I'd be like, okay. Like
yeah, you would never say that to somebody you're interested in.
Whereas, like, I could see Wes instead being like, stop touching my knee. I know you're, like, into me, you know? And she'd be like, I'm not. It's just cuter. This is, like, yuck kind of flirting where you're like, but Jesse also flirts this way with Lexi. So, like, maybe it's just how he flirts.
Oh, that's a really good point.
That's what's hard is, I think... Ditzy?
Stop. I think, like, for Lexi, I kind of understand her insecurity. Maybe that's about to be coming up because Jesse, you saying that is so true. Like, that is how he is flirting with Lexi. So Lexi is reading into it more because that's what she's getting from him.
Yeah.
But Sierra is just like, this is just fun, friendly banter.
That's it, though, is if it's 0% from Sierra, like, there's nothing to worry about. And Jesse probably knows that, too. So he's like, it's kind of the same with Amanda. Like, he can openly flirt with Amanda and, like, nothing's going to come of it. It's that way with Sierra. It's that way with Paige. So I think like,
what's scary is that the boundary is held on the women's side of not doing anything. Like Sierra says that.
So
like
Lexi
if she leaned in, it does give Lexi the right amount of uncomfortability because if that's your partner, you would want him to be upholding the boundary, not the other women.
Correct. Okay, so we are doing some crazy decorations. We're building an island.
Okay. Wait, really quick. They pull out that tarp, and I was like, that's going to be really hot. Like, that shit gets warm in the sun. What are we doing with a giant blue tarp over all of our grass? Like, there goes the heat. Like,
you're going to burn your toes when you step on it.
At least put, like, a sprinkler on it. Get some cold water going on this baby.
Ooh, that would be dope. If you had the hose running through the tarp.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be kind of dope.
Because you can't have standing water. That'll also get warm. But, like, a nice little sprinkler going off.
A little sprinkler would be
just a little bit of water for your feet.
No, wait, I would love fucking Carl. Paige even says it. If her dad was here, that would have been built in 10 minutes. Which, same with my dad. My dad would have not only built this with his eyes closed, but my dad would have thought of the sprinkler. He would have been like, this is going to get hot. Let's sprinkle it up a little bit.
I saw this comment online before I watched the episode, because I watched the episode late. I was like, oh, they must be putting together some type of, like, puzzle pieces of, like... a island. It was just mulch. I was like, just take the mulch out of the bag, make a mound. I guess they put a little tarp over it or something. This was not hard. Why are they so useless?
Like I said, my dad, this is no problem. This is an average Sunday for my dad.
Alicia, you and I could have done this faster than them. I don't want to do this, but
we're Midwestern strong. Where was Wes? Where was Wes and Jesse? You leave Carl and Kyle to do this? No. Where's
Jesse?
Luke? Luke could have built us a whole igloo.
Luke would have leveled this baby up. Luke would have done this by himself in some jeans, shirtless. He would have brought his own wheelbarrow.
You think you're getting mulch on the island? No. He's making an actual island. He's going to dig a moat around a surface and figure out how to keep the water there. We're not doing a tarp. That's crazy. Luke has a pool for us.
Yeah.
Like,
Luke is making a waterfall for this setup too.
Truly. You're missing your people here. So, it's 3:05 p.m. People are starting to get ready. They look wild because two of them are dressing as literal birds. Particularly Sierra is putting like body.
Sierra, when she was getting ready, I was like, this.
She looked
yellow
crazy.
in the white. I was like, Jesus. Oh my God.
She looked crazy. Jesse calls Lexi, is like, here's my fit. And he's like, I miss you. And he's not going to flirt with girls today because he doesn't want to ruin things.
Okay.
Gabby is dressed as Halle Berry in, what is it?
No.
I wrote Die Another Die. Die Another Day, I think. That's what
the guys, when she explains it, they're like, okay, cool. I was like.
They're like, and that fits in the theme how? And she's like, I'm shipwrecked.
They're like, okay.
Shipwrecked.
All right, and on to the next topic.
So, Carl tries to blow his conch shell to signal the start of the
Oh,
party.
Lordy.
I immediately got the ick. The fact that he couldn't blow it, I was like, listen,
Okay,
new ick.
I don't think
You
you
can't
really
blow a conch
can on
shell.
those. Like these
Then
is like
don't
from like
try.
movies. Okay, try
Then
once
don't
maybe,
try.
but realize like
Mhm.
this doesn't actually happen.
You don't have to do it. You
He
don't
tried
have to
like
give me the ick
4
like it.
times. I was like,
No.
all right.
You know how I have
Or, like-
funny icks? This is one.
Yeah.
Like a
Well,
very
this isn't a
specific
funny
ick.
one.
This is a very specific ick.
This is a
for
normal
me.
one. My thing is like make a bit out of it when it doesn't work the first time and like just make the noise like you know, like
Get the SpongeBob sound out. He always blew a conch shell.
that's the thing. Like he could have recovered from this, but he just kept digging deeper into the ink trench for you.
No. I stand by my new ick is someone trying to blow a conch shell. Don't even try. You don't have to try.
Just not worth it.
Don't do it. Okay, it's party time though. It's 4:08. People are showing up. There's a pirate, I think, that came with the ship sitting
Oh.
on. There's a big burly pirate sitting on that ship when everyone was entering, and I was like, I think that was the guy delivering the ship.
Interesting.
Very fun to make sure no one let off the cannons because they actually are operational, I'm sure.
Safety first.
So Amanda and Paige talk about Kyle and Craig. They both are like, the boys just need to squash it. But the boys are the type of boys that need to not only be right, but have you agree that they are right. They're also very emotional. And then Paige tells Amanda about Craig at the Australian dinner they had, how Craig wants to make sure that their relationship is a priority, and that pissed Paige off. And Paige is going on tour, and she's nervous and anxious about it. And now she has to like spend energy worrying about Craig. And she wants Craig to feel like a priority, but work will come first because this is what she's wanted since she was 5. And she's finally getting what she wants. Like, why can't Craig just be supportive? And Paige tells Amanda that Craig never thought, or like Craig said he'd never thought he'd be in a submissive relationship. And Paige won't apologize for that. And she feels like when she's on tour, she's going to hate Craig.
And she does. And they break up.
I get it.
I find it wild because, well, yeah. And what's annoying is like Craig's fears or conversation points are not the problem. It's that he expects her to do all the work for it.
Yeah, he's putting it on her, being like, you need to make me a priority. Which, again, I feel like I don't know enough about their relationship, but like, is Craig's work not an issue? Like, when he has to work, she just deals with it? You know what I mean?
I feel like she has always fit her schedule around his chaos, and she was able to make that work. But now, yes, and now that she can't, he will not reciprocate because I don't think he ever noticed that she did that. It's one of those things that like women constantly do stuff, and men in heterosexual relationships, men get used to it, and they don't think that it's some big ask that like she's doing it. It's just normalized that she would meet his needs. And now that the status quo has changed, he wants the relationship to be a priority for her, but he doesn't need to make it a priority and come to her.
Yeah, there's something so weird about it. The way you said it is perfect. I just like, it blows my mind that like he doesn't understand this and he can't see this and he can't like. And I think it's a lot of men. Like Kyle kind of felt that way too, right? When Amanda's like, I want to do something that's not Loverboy. And he's like, how could you do this to me?
Because an absence of energy towards them is like insane to them. They can't ever understand it because they are so used to the level of input that Kyle and Craig specifically, the level of input that these women have given them. And so if it changes, they don't know how to like take a step forward and take on 70% of the work in the relationship for a short period of time. Because in my belief, like a 50-50 relationship will not always be 50-50. It's that like you will pick up the slack if I can't give a lot at this moment. So Paige cannot be physically present with Craig all the time. So he would have to be the one to do more of the work to be in presence with her, or overcome that, like, hey, we're not together as much as we used to. But that's a challenge for him, and he doesn't want that. He wants it easy.
My God.
And he deems that as being, like, submissive to, like, participate in the relationship.
No, wait. That sentence made my blood boil just now. I'm
like, that's what it is for most men. If you have to, like, actually put an effort in work and not just be met at the table. Like, most women, I feel like, come to men in the relationship rather than men actually being an equal, like, participant and, like, a primary participant in it. They are a reactor in most relationships, not like an instigator.
Stop. That made me so mad. I can't wait for my gay awakening. I'm so mad right now. I hate men. I think that's what's hard
for a lot of us independent women. Like, all of our lives, we were told we can do anything. And it's true. And, like, so we are so used to, like, leading the charge on all of our lives. And so to have somebody not match your energy is just, like, a weird vibe. Because, like, I'm not your mom. Like, I don't want to do that.
This is
like
crazy. I'm so mad. Let's move on. Let's move on before I get really mad. Okay, so it's 4:38 p.m. It's party time. Sierra's here. She's like she says a pigeon, but I think she's a seagull because, you know, ships. And Amanda's a parrot. We meet Carl's friend Lil. She says that Carl's giving lemur energy, which cracks me up. I told you my best friend was called a lemur in high school. I know. She hated it.
I know, but, like,
this bullying thing.
This was in the trailer, and I just heard this clip one too many times. Like, I didn't need to have such lemur energy be such a focal point of my life in 2025.
I appreciate that Carl admits to us that he is rusty and he is awkward. I think it'd be more cringy if he, like, didn't realize that. But then I am like, how have these two not been on a date? I get he wanted to be single, but, like, you could have met up. Could have gone to her yoga class or whatever she was trying to get you to do.
We can flirt the first time you're meeting not here?
Be
in a relationship. Like,
let's have to date. Tell her, be like, I'm not ready to date anyone, but I would love to meet. I would love to meet. Yeah, but,
like, the last few months even, like, April, May, June, you know, like, we could have read things up then even.
Yeah. So Jesse meets Lil, and he's like, hey, Lil, are you spending the night tonight? And Lil's like, I don't know, am I? And Carl's like, you can. And I was like, yuck. I was like,
this. Please don't. But thank you, Jesse, for helping. Like, great wingmanning, Jesse. Just really don't do it when I have to watch it.
My dumb ass would have been like, no, you guys could be serial killers. Like, it would have come out without thinking. Like, Lil doesn't even know this man, and she's like, hey.
See, the toxic person in me would have been like, oh, with you, Jesse? Like, at least somebody cares about me. And then, like, put it back on Carl. Because, like, you never asked me. Like, Jesse's asking me to spend the night.
It would have ended bad for both of us. We wouldn't have spent the night.
Again, if Jesse gets asked, there apparently is, like, a 60% chance he says yes, so.
Maybe. Okay, so Amanda, Paige, Gabby, and Sierra are talking. They're watching Carl and Lil. This is where we find out that Carl met Lil by going to a soccer game and sitting next to her parents, and then they connected on socials. Okay, so it's 5:22 p.m. Paige and Craig, they find the boat in the middle of that hot-ass tarp, which the boat's got to be hot, too. You ever been in one of those blow-up boats? Yo.
You're all surrounded by plastic that's, like, beaming the sun everywhere. Thank you.
Your ass is on fire in that boat. That's like when you sit in your car in the summer.
Yes.
And your ass fries. Oh, my God. So Paige does say, though, if there's anything like a bed, she's going to find it. And I was like, even when it's 1,000 degrees?
But that's my limit. Like, temperature will dictate if I want to lay down or not. Like, I will take a bed in cooler temps.
Also, did they wear shoes how did they get across the tarp? We didn't see it. We just saw them climbing in.
We might need to run it back to
run it back. Were they tiptoeing on? We don't know.
Or, like, walking really fast because you're like, my feet are burning.
Yeah, you're like, my feet. Which is always the ugliest you've ever been, is when you're tiptoeing because it's hot on your feet.
You're so right.
Oh, it's the most unattractive everyone is. So, Paige does say, though, she doesn't look good on boats under 52 feet, which cracked me up, but also makes me realize how many little boats I've been on in my life and how much I love them. I love a good boating day.
I know.
I feel like, tell me if you feel this way too when you watch like maybe Below Deck or something. Sometimes the big boats, I'm like, no, they seem fun. But half the fun of a boat is like feeling those waves hit you, you know? Like I'd be like, let's take the tender out always.
That. And a lot of it isn't like outside or like have like, yes, they have their decks, but the front of a pontoon boat is just a place that holds a special
front of a
part of my soul.
Also, because I've only been on one of these like a few times, but there was one in particular. My family rented a pontoon boat, but then there were too many people. So the guy was like, we don't have any more boats, but we have this little dinghy. And my dad's like, fuck, it's just this little motor. So me and my sister got booted to the dinghy with my aunt.
My God.
But it was so much fun because that thing hit speed and we were just fucking flying.
And that can take some waves.
Most fun. Yeah, it was so much fun. We were doing circles around this pontoon boat. But yeah, I got fucking ditched to the dinghy. I was like, are you fucking serious? But I love a small little boat. I do. I have hearts to them.
Now you're making me excited for summer and some boats.
For summer, I know. So, Craig, so they bring up Paige is like, hey man, do you feel like a priority right now? And Craig's like, I do this weekend, but I want to stay a priority while you're on tour. And Paige is like, listen, I don't want you to resent me when I'm working, but my career is different from when we first started dating, and I don't feel bad about that.
And she shouldn't. I'm so happy she said that.
No. And Craig is like, that's not fair because I am happy for you, but I just need to know how I fit into your life. And I was like, it's not about you. It's literally not about you.
No, unless you're coming up with an equal plan of what you will both do to make this relationship a priority. I don't want to hear what you have to say about Paige making it a priority. How about you talk about your side of the fence, you little douchebag? She's living her dream. Let her be. It's like 3 months.
You know what it's giving is like the girl whose best friend gets a boyfriend and she's like, but what about me? And it's like, yuck, stop. It's not about you.
It just tells me
that there's a right way to express when you feel like you've been left behind. It's also wild to express that you're scared of being left behind when you haven't been left behind yet.
He's preemptively like freaking out about this. You can preemptively talk about it, but he is preemptively like shaming her for things she's not even doing. It's diabolical. His need to be the center of her world and say like, oh, but I am happy for you. No, you're not. You are not happy for her. You are fine with what she is doing. You're not happy for her. Because if you were happy for her, you'd be like, I will follow you around this fucking country because I'm so excited for you and I want to watch it. And he would sit like backstage and people wouldn't even know he's there because he's being supportive. Any city he went to, he was on stage with her because it had to be about him.
That he's like shaming her for something that hasn't even happened yet.
Yeah. That's like, I just want to make sure you don't forget about me. And it's like, well, you honestly would never let me forget about you.
It's so weird. It's so weird that like men think, who gave them this audacity? Like I would never. This is crazy.
I understand the panic thoughts inside. Like I tend to do this. I like build a world inside my head that like I'm stressed about will happen in the future. But guess what? That's my job to deal with that because that's not happening in real life. So like, okay, have those thoughts, say your fears of what could happen in the future and things you want to prevent from happening. But again, make a plan together. It's not her job to quell your emotions about things you're making up in your head.
Also, as an adult, if you're scared things might happen, if you're stressed about it, you can only control yourself. So how can you change your daily life? If this is such an important thing for you, you're so scared she's going to not make you a priority. Okay, so how can you change your life to spend more quality time with her, to make sure you're going to travel with her a little bit? When she's if she does a show in South Carolina, go to that show and be like, you can stay at my house for that instead of the hotel if you're coming. Like, do other things.
But he could
offer other problems.
He could never imagine
offer other solutions. Why is it on her? She's not concerned about it.
Because what about his career? And he has things to do.
Could drop kick men. Oh my God. Okay. So Paige says, so Craig is like, it's not fair that you feel this way because I'm happy for you, but I would just need to know how I fit in. And because they're having a literal adult conversation, Paige is like, I can tell you how I feel. And Craig's like, it makes me, though, not want to bring stuff up to you because then you'll feel like it's an attack. And I was like, it's literally a conversation. She's responding back to what you just said.
About, again,
and
things that aren't happening, that she has feelings about what you're saying, like you said. It's
literally,
it's insane.
He's Chicken Little. He's like, the sky's falling. And she's like, okay, how can I stop the sky falling? And he's like, stop being on the attack about the sky falling.
Is that why they call each other chicken? Because he's like Chicken Little?
He's Chicken Little. Yuck. So Craig just wants clarity. And they maybe should do like a status check on their relationship, like a review. And Paige was like, fine, I'll let you know if you're fired or not.
I love that line.
Like, that was awesome.
That at the end of the year, she basically fired him.
Yeah. I would also, so I watched the after show because it came on right after and I was like, yeah, fun. I'll just put it on. So Paige says, like, looking back, Craig made everything about him. And similar to what you said, right? He comes on her live shows. He has to be the center, right? It can never just be her. And Paige even said she would have panic attacks on tour. And she realizes now it was because of how, like, Craig was acting, but then Craig would be like, oh, it's work induced. She got to quit Giggly Squad.
Which, like, I'm sure there's a lot of factors to it, but like, why wouldn't you want to make sure you're not a factor?
And then Craig told her to watch some ABBA documentary about how tours break up families. And I went, y'all own bees. Y'all own a bunch of bees. What family? Sir? Oh my God.
I just can't imagine ever telling someone to stop doing something they're so excited about because I want them next to me. Well, like, crazy. I mean, there are definitely, feelings are valid, but like, why are you changing your whole life? Like, I just can't imagine telling a guy who maybe got like a big work promotion not to do it because like, I needed more attention.
What about us? What about me? What about my time with you? That's crazy. If a girl said that, do you know how many people would be like, she's crazy, stage 5 clinger.
Yes. She's
nuts.
Oh,
you're changing yourself for this girl. No, literally, same rules apply here. Stop being misogynistic about it.
I also saw online somebody say, like, Craig's only mad that she's going on tour because he tried to go on tour and it, like, they just didn't have the interest, I think, to hold this many shows. They've done a few live shows, but not a tour like this. So he's mad she's doing something he can't do. So he needs to put her back in the box that she should be in and be like the submissive little girlfriend and not this amazing superstar that she is.
Also, I'm going to say it. The BravoCon Sewing Down South booth, Paige was always there, and that's why I wanted to go. And I walked into Sewing Down South one time, and I immediately said, where's the Paige collection? Because I wanted to see, I didn't care about his stupid water bottles he's selling. I was like, where's the Paige collection? That's what I wanted.
And like, she clearly shows up, supports him, like, and yes, is also involved and in front. So like, I'm not going to shame him too much for being like on her podcast tour because like there is interest for him to be there. Like that's fine.
Yeah.
But she clearly is so supportive over everything he's doing. And he probably asked her to do a collaboration, like wanted her involved in that. She like goes to the store when he's at the store to bring even more interest, promotes it. Similar how like Amanda supports Loverboy. But, like, why are you berating her over her first major thing that's going to interrupt your relationship? Not saying this is her first major career move, but the first thing that will shift your relationship slightly. And you can't handle it? That tells me everything about you.
Literally. I can't get over how crazy it is that if this, like, genders were reversed, everyone would be like, Craig's in the right. Craig's just growing himself. But
No,
because
we've
it's a
seen that the
woman-
whole rest of their relationship. It was always, when is Paige moving to Charleston? When is she coming here? Like, what's going on? When is she shifting her entire life for him? Never, what is Craig doing to benefit their relationship? And now, after they've broken up, he's like, oh, I was going to move to New York. Yeah, fucking right. You weren't going to move there full time.
Weren't.
You were going to come there 4 days out of a week, and she was going to be in Charleston 3 days. Like, that's, you're claiming so much ownership over changing your whole world.
Absolute yuck to that. Craig also called her harsh because she's straightforward. I, too, have been called by my own father quite abrasive. And I would just like to say, yeah, and I'm straightforward.
That's what it is.
I'm just going to tell you.
It's
the same thing. If a man does it, he's strategic and calculated. If a woman does it, she's bitchy.
But your reaction to me is not my problem. It's not my responsibility. Like, there are moments, like, if you're being hurtful and you tear someone down, yeah, let's nix that. Absolutely. But Paige just being honest, open, and forthright, I'm sorry you're having a hard time with that, Craig, but, like, handle it, or this isn't the relationship for you. And clearly, not the relationship for you. Not. That's okay. But stop making it her fault.
No, literally. I just want to end on a high note from the after show really quick. So everyone talked about how crazy Carl's admission was that he hasn't had sex in a year, and the last person he had sex with was Lindsay. And everyone's like, I would take that to the grave. Exactly what we said last episode, where we were like, we wouldn't admit it. Just lie. Don't admit this at all. Even Imral is like, I would lie. I would lie and say I had sex with someone random. And then we find out just a good timeline. So they all had this wedding in Portugal, because we were in shock that like Lindsay and Carl were at this wedding. Well, Lindsay was pregnant at this wedding with Carl there, and the show was airing at the same time about how Carl and Lindsay were engaged. So that's crazy.
That made a lot of sense when Carl was like, I have this show airing about my engagement at the time, and then it's going to end in failure. Like, I don't want to date in the middle of this. Like, I was like, good point. I get it.
But also they gave us the hug, the squeeze. And Lexi hit us so hard. She's like, doesn't Carl like hugs? And I was Gabby. I laughed out loud, and I was like, yeah, he does. There's one thing you know about Carl is he loves a squeeze,
a tight little hug.
Squeeze me. And I just forgot how crazy Lindsay's eyes were, where she was like, what? What? Squeeze?
I think I've also built it into something it isn't in my head. So to see it again, I was like, okay, I didn't need reality. I didn't need to like fully have this picture back.
Lindsay's, her expression cracked me up because she looks so scared. When he's like, squeeze me tighter, she's like,
Jesus fucking Christ, there's a camera right here. I don't want to do this. I'd rather be in the like nursing costume pretending we're going to have sex again.
She'd rather be climbing out of the gate and walking into oncoming traffic again than squeezing this man.
The only thing I want squeezed is a lemon into my vodka water. Like, don't fucking squeeze me.
3 lemons carcass out, if you will. Literally so funny. Anyway, so that's the end of the episode. But next time on Summer House, Jesse asks Sierra why she won't give him a chance. And she says, why don't you try? And he goes, because Wes called dibs. And she's like, well, you can't let your homeboy stop you from getting what you want.
Oh my God.
I think this is all banter. I don't think Sierra takes it seriously. So I don't know if Jesse's serious, but Sierra I'm sure is like, whatever, weirdo.
I don't think it changes anything she's thinking about, but I think this type of conversation is like what leads to the Lexi issue, because I think Sierra's going to say something similar of like, I would never. And it's basically, again, all on her, where Lexi's going to be like, I don't trust that this isn't going to happen just because Sierra doesn't want it.
And that sucks then, because it's not on Sierra, but Lexi's going to probably put it on Sierra. On her.
Yeah. But I think it will work itself out.
Women just keep taking these hits. What the fuck, dude? It's not our fault.
You know what? Our society, that's your first initial reaction. So I'm not going to be truly mad at Lexi if it's just her first initial reaction and then she clears it up quickly. To be like, fair. I'm not mad at you. This isn't your fault.
On a fun side, Emerald has 2 chicks in his bed, and for some reason, Jesse was there.
I can't wait
Wes
to see
was
this.
like, what?
This is getting better than what we found out from that like Miami Bravo thing. Like, oh my God, Jesse, what are you doing?
I loved Wes being like, was I in the kitchen with a foursome happening? And then Craig and Kyle finally talk, which got to drag this out a whole episode
is diabolical.
Crazy.
Now I'm mad at Craig. It is Craig's fault.
No, I'm telling you.
I know. I'm just saying it's okay to be like, I don't want to do this right now. In real life for people, like it's okay to be like, not my time. But you're right. This is a show. We need to have a fight at dinner.
It's a show, and now it's over 2 fucking episodes.
This is over like 4 because we had rage texting at Kyle's DJ set. We had baby shower this episode. Well, honestly, I think maybe 5.
But the fact that nothing got solved like the rage texting, fine, all of that, fine. I mean, literally, Craig and Kyle have had to have a conversation last episode. That's how we ended it. This whole episode, there's just no conversation. That's what drove me nuts about Craig. Like, well, what's just frustrating have the combo.
Is like, this is the main storyline this season. Craig's not even on this show.
No, literally, who cares what Craig thinks? Okay, cool. So who's your not fun this episode?
I mean, I gotta go. Can I pick Craig?
But like he's not on the show.
Okay, I'm okay.
You know?
I just need to clarify that because I'm picking Kyle because I can't do this. Like,
you gotta do it.
I know it's not Kyle's fault. Like, I agree with you. I got there at the end of the episode that like they should have this conversation at dinner. But his tantrum, I'm just never gonna co-sign.
No, I get that. No, you're right. Okay, this might be. I don't know.
Go for it.
Just because Carl gave me the ick with the conch shell.
And the like lemur talk, like him and that girl, I just can't do this.
But he admits that he's awkward, and that's fine.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean I want to watch it.
It was the conch shell. It was like, I was so excited over a ship, and I'm like, ugh, all right, whatever.
And his eye makeup was way too
very terrible.
Way too much.
Who is your fun?
I feel like this is tricky because I don't feel like anybody was amazing by any means. But
do you go fun or do you go good? You know, like fun
or
like
I'm going TV. Jesse because like clearly without Lexi he can be a good time. He's back, baby.
He was cracking me up.
Yeah,
I'm gonna give it to, like I said, Gabby. She's our only girl that showed the fuck up. She was having a time. She was cracking me up with those boys. Jesse's punching balloons, and she's like, "What the fuck's wrong with you?" But she's laughing.
That was the best scene. Is like them coming home eating.
Oh my God, I could watch a whole. Honestly, if they just release footage of like them drunk eating,
that would
I would
be
watch
fun.
it all day long.
The like little clips, extra deleted scenes on whether it's Peacock or YouTube. I don't care how you monetize it, but just give it to me in some way.
Well, don't even give it to me cut. Give me it unedited. They were eating for 30 minutes. I'll watch them eat all 30 minutes. Okay.
I don't want that. I want it to be a little edited. You know what they should do? You know how they had like the deleted scenes or extra things on like Vanderpump always? Mm-hmm. Give me drunk moments like of Summer House. Unseen at the end of the season. Yeah.
Yeah. I love it. Okay, well, good-ish episode. Not really, actually. A lot of hot discussions.
Episode, great our episode. The terrible episodes of Summer House always bring our best episodes.
We'll see, I guess. A lot of great discussions on how much I hate men. But
yeah,
keep watching with us.
Yeah.
Great.
Thanks for joining. Bye.